Hello, welcome to lesson for dual credit World History A, lesson board for discussion board for lesson 25. Okay, this is one of my favorite topics to cover. I actually have a book called Kids at Work. And I just think it's so fascinating to see how like all of a sudden kids were used in factories and in the workplaces, and they were expected to do things like this. And I mean, not that they didn't work before, but it was a lot different on the farm, say, than it was in factories. Okay. So document A is from Dr. Ward, and he was a doctor in Manchester for 30 years. His practice treated several children who worked in Manchester factories. He was interviewed about the health of the textile factory workers on March 25th, 1819, by the House of Lords Committee. The exchange below is an excerpt from the interview. So he was asked about the health of the workers in the cotton factories, and he said that it was bad, that they didn't have good health, and children especially, have a lot of accidents. And anyway, so it's really interesting to read what he has to say. Document B is from Dr. Holm, who was a physician who lived in Manchester, England during the first half of the 19th century. He was an active member various of various academic societies and associations, and a well-researched doctor. In 1818, he was interviewed by the House of Lords Committee, once again, about the health concerns of factories. And so he talked about kind of the same sort of thing. And he said that they were in good health generally. And so that's kind of interesting. And then document C is from John Burley, who was born in London in 1805. He lost both of his parents by the age of 5 and was sent to the workhouse. He soon began working at the Cressbrook factory. John was interviewed about his experiences as a child worker in the mill in 1849. An article on his life was published in the newspaper, the Ashton Chronicle, in May of 1849. So this is kind of like what he had to say about working in the mill. And then this is another excerpt from Edward Baines, who was a newspaper journalist and editor for the Leeds Mercury newspaper in the 1830s. He was elected to Parliament and served there as a political liberal. Although Baines supported the end of slavery and various political reforms, he opposed legislation regulating factories and extending votes to the English working class. These are the excerpts from his book, History of the Cotton Manufacturers in Great Britain. So he thought that working in the factories was okay. So it's just interesting to see kind of both sides and what they had to say about working in the factories, and whether it was good for the health of the children or bad for the health of the children. And then I want to hear what you have to think. Do you think it was good, or do you think it was bad? And I want you to use the documents to support your claims, okay? So that's what I want you to do. There's a ton of super interesting information about this topic. So anyway, I will talk to you later. And this is the last discussion of this class. Yay! Thanks so much. Bye-bye.